Hey, I want to thank you for joining me on this video adventure. But I also wanted to show you a little note what I did. And of course, I'll leave the description down in the leave the link in the description. So leave the link in the description. So this is the battery that came with the kit, supplied by Electro and Company. And what I did was I went ahead and I 3D printed a couple of caps for the battery. This is 72 volts, so you don't want anything to like fall in there and make a spark, arc it out. I'll leave the description. Actually, I'll leave the link to these caps. And if you have a 3D printer, just download the files and print them up yourself. I've printed up a couple of each one, and I'm gonna leave them in the toolbox that came with the kit. So if somebody loses one, we still have a backup at least. And it didn't take that long to print them. I think it was like an hour to print both at the same time. Came to a total like of an hour maybe, if that. I went with a little higher print because I wanted them to last a little longer. They just slide on. They're held on with friction, so you know, because that's a pretty big plug. And yeah, that's a pretty big plug right there. I don't know why my focus is not working. Let's see. There we go. That's a pretty big plug. If anything was to fall into it and arc it, that's 72 volts. That'll create a nice big spark, and you know, don't want you guys to get hurt while you're So yeah, don't want you guys to get hurt while you're making or building this thing. So like I said, just for a little safety, that's all it is. And again, I'll leave a link to these caps. It's free to download. Just they're free to download just as long as you have a 3D printer. Just print them up and leave them on there if you're not using the battery. Just a little added safety. Now I want to show you what I've been doing with the toolkit that came with this Go Kart kit. As I'm emptying it out of those plastic tubs, I start utilizing it to hold all the tools, and even the charger for the battery will fit in there. And then I can put 4 tubs in here to literally add whatever it is you need. So once the tub is done, you can peel off the sticker, you know, and they're a little hard to peel off, but that's fine. Peel them off, use a little goof off and erase the residue. See, it's empty, so now I can put other things into it. Zip ties, whatever I need, you know. Maybe some Loctite can go in there, some other stuff, you know, pretty much whatever it is. And then as more and more of these I empty out, I'm going to fill them with what's needed. Maybe some spare parts, like some axle bearings, maybe some pads for the brakes. Again, it all depends on, you know, what it is you're doing. I might actually leave a couple extra bolts in here for other things, like, you know, again, I don't know yet because we haven't got to that point yet. But this is where I store all the tools I need. Mostly Allen keys, a couple of sockets, a wrench, tape measure, because I'm measuring things. Multi-tool for pliers if I need it. You know, whatever it is. And then this whole kit will go with the go-kart to the movie. So I decided on this episode we're also going to work on the chain and mounting the chain to the motor and the rear sprocket. So we're going to go through all of that. But just a quick note, when working with the chain, it's very oily or greasy. It's packed in like oil, some kind of messy fluid. So get yourself a pair of rubber gloves, you know, so you don't have to wipe off your hands every 2 seconds. And these are cheap. You get them at pretty much any hardware store, automotive supply store. Any big box retail store has a hardware section, has these, or a cleaning section. But yeah, put some rubber gloves on. Chain's gonna be messy. And It's pretty cool. They even include in the kit a tool to lengthen or shorten, well, actually to shorten, well, no, you probably could lengthen the chain so it fits on there perfectly. Again, they give you everything you need, guys, just about. The only thing they didn't give me on this was a straight edge, so I can make sure that the chain is parallel to the motor. That's about the only thing they didn't include, but I'm just gonna use a ruler. Any nice straight edge will work. And yeah, I think that's about the only thing they didn't really include. You will probably need a pair of pliers to put the sprocket on and lock it in place, because it's got a what they call a C-clip, or some people call it E-clips. I think this one's more of a C-clip, and I'll show you. It's in the bag. It's in a bag with the little sprocket for the motor. Everything's included, like always. And just one more step to getting this thing on the road. So the chain is going to wrap around this sprocket, come around to the motor, where we got to put a sprocket on there as well. And Electro and Company supplied a bag that goes with the motor with a sprocket on it and a couple spacers, and what could be either an E-clip or a C-clip depending on who you talk to. So what I'm going to do is let's take it out of the bag. Just test fit real quick. Some of the spacers. Looks like what I'm going to do is the big spacer first. Small spacer. And the final is this. To me, it looks like a C-clip. Yeah, it's a C-clip on this one. Okay, so once again, this is the motor. And this little channel right here is where your C-clip is going to land. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bigger spacer first and put that on. And then I'm going to take the sprocket and I'm putting that on next. You'll see there's grooves in here and there's grooves in here that'll match up so it won't unspin from itself. And then I'm going to put the other ring. Let's see, actually, you know what? No, I'm going to put both spacers on first. Let me see what that looks like. Now take the C-clip, place it on there. I'm going to use a pair of pliers to lock it in. There you go. C-clip is on there. Not moving. So, like I said, they pretty much include most of the tools, and minus a welder and a couple little hand tools here and there. But this is one of the tools they include. And this is how you're going to lengthen or shorten. Well, you can't really lengthen because they only gave it a certain amount. But this is how you shorten the chain to make it reach the length you need. And we'll go over how to do that as well and everything. But again, get yourself some rubber gloves because the chain is oily and greasy. And I just don't feel like having to wash my hands every time I need to adjust something on this now. So I can always grab another set of gloves because it comes in a pack of 20 or whatever, 50, 100, depends what size you buy. So yep. And this is the chain. It's 126 times 106. I do not know what any of that means. Again, I'm not an expert when it comes to building go-karts. It was made in Italy. And Regina Extras. Katina Rulli. I don't know. I was never even good at reading English. So you see it comes in this package. And the package is already seeping out some kind of grease or oil. And you'll see it's very, very oily and greasy. And it's a nice long chain. It's longer than you're going to need. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay this on both the sprocket and the motor. I'm probably going to pop one of the pins out first because that's what's going to be needed so I can get it around. Gonna have to pop one of the pins anyway. And what I mean by popping one of the pins is on a chain you'll see there's a pin here and a pin here. And if you pop one of those pins out, it opens up the chain, and then you can adjust the linkage of how many links you're going to use in that chain. So we're going to take one out, and we'll open this chain up, wrap it around the axle and the motor, the axle sprocket and the motor, and then we'll see how long of this chain we actually need, because there's more than what you need in this. And as you can see, it is greasy and messy. So, unless you like to play in the grease and the mess, you don't have to use rubber gloves. Again, it's your build, do what you want. So, in a previous video, I left this sprocket loose because I didn't want to put it in place yet. You can see the groove, there's no key in it yet, because I wanted to align this sprocket with the sprocket on the motor, and I haven't installed the sprocket motor until just today. So I'm going to eyeball it first, but that's not always the best way of doing it. So what I'm also going to do is I'm going to take a straight edge. I've got this nice 2-foot ruler. I'm going to put it on there, and I'm going to put it on top of this black holder here, or the black part of the sprocket, because I don't want to put it on this side of the sprocket. I want to put it on top, so this will line up with this. So the outside of this will now line up with that, and that'll give me a pretty much close as I can get just by looking at it and then putting a straight edge on it. And then of course when you put the chain on it, it'll make more adjustment. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the key in, and then we'll lock it all up and go from there. And you guys know how the keys are installed, so not that hard. Placing the key in it. Okay, you notice it's still loose back and forth, so I'm going to have to take out the ruler again and make the adjustment. I want to try and leave this as parallel as possible, because then the chain will run as smooth as possible on it. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I'm putting more force on this side to keep it straight, and then as I slide it in, the back sprocket, as it bumps up to the ruler, it's keeping it nice, parallel, and straight. And then once I get that, I can then rotate slowly. I don't want to rotate too fast because I don't want it to come out of alignment. But again, that's something that we can check again. So we'll get to the point where I can get to this Allen bolt right here. And I'm going to check this one more time. And I'm going to lock it in down here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put some Loctite on that first. Now checking the alignment again. And then take your split ring. As you can see, this chain is way longer than you need. So we're going to come around the tire just like that. Hook it up to the motor. Lay it on the sprocket. You'll notice there's a lot of excess here. I mean, looks like we'll probably take it out at least a foot out of it. So let's see what we got to do. Actually, you know what? This chain has a clip right here on it. So we can pop that clip and that'll give us an open chain. And then what we can do is find out how long we need it. So let's take that part out first. So right there is a little clip. We're going to pop that clip off first. Then we'll have an open chain. Then we'll cut one of these or pop these rivets out of one of them and hook it back up to here to shorten it. Once you pop this clip open, you're going to want to take that off. I used a pair of pliers and just slid it up this way. So I popped it up this way. I'm taking the whole thing off. I'm going to leave it near so I don't lose it, so I need to put it back on. And now you'll see that these two, this pin and this pin, are raised a little bit because those are the ones that have where the clip goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to open one of them up. I'm going to open this tool. What you do is go around the back of it. And you're going to push one of these out. So what this tool does. It lets you okay. That's not moving on that side, so we'll put it on this side. Now, it doesn't take a lot of force to push this pin through. So this pin's going to be pushed all the way through with this tool that they give you. You just got to line this shaft up right here with the pin, so we can start pushing the pin in. Now, I'm doing this on the go-kart because, again, I'm in a one-car garage. I really don't have any space. Might take you a couple times to realign it. But once you get to the spot you need to be in, it just goes right through without a problem. Again, you're going to use the same tool to put the pin back in. And just take your time. Okay, so I am now all the way through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this up now. What's going to happen is it's going to go crazy with the linkage. So now we know that. Take this. Okay, now one other note you're going to want to do is once you have the chain undone, don't forget to drop this motor a little bit. So you have, when you pick it up, you're going to create more tension on this. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to drop the motor a little bit, and then I'll find the exact point in that chain of what I want to use. Right now, chain is open. Okay, so I dropped the motor down to one of the lower points, so it'll give me some adjustability on it. It looks like right here, this link right there, that one will line up. Problem is the adjustment bolt is okay. Yeah, I can get to that. So this is the one I need to pop back out now. So I'm going to take the tool once again. Well, at least it's got a section right there for a wrench. So we get a little more leverage than this little rod. That'll help. Also, you do not have to do this on the go-kart like this. I'm doing it because I really have no other space to do it. So that's why I'm doing it. So working on this, I'm taking 2 of these pins out because I already have the cap, and then the main one that goes to the clip has 2 rods on it already. So I'm going to take, I don't know if I'm saying the right names for these pieces because again I'm not a go-kart expert, but the piece that has these 2 little pins on it with the recess part, that's where that clip goes in. So I got that. So I need to take out 2 pins to replace with. Once you get past this point, it's easier to just pop that pin out. Just like that. Now, on this chain, one side's got a bigger cap on it than the other side. The smaller side is easier to push through than the bigger side. So find the smaller side and push that through. It'd be easier. So now I have this to the length I need. Oh, almost there. I'm 1 link off. 1 link off. Okay. That's an easy fix. Now, it might be just adjusting where the motor sits. Or, because you see there's a lot of loose tension on here. Okay, what it turned out to be is the bolt that moves the motor up and down on this side was in the way of the chain, so I couldn't get the 2 links to meet. So I rested the chain on top of it, and now it works. Okay, so now I'm going to take this double clip piece, I'm going to slide it in here through the back of the chain. Okay. Bam, comes all the way out. Now I need to put a I don't know what they're called, but plate? I don't know. Sorry, I don't know the names of the parts of a chain. Figure 8 plate, double hole plate, I don't know. So that basically goes on this piece right here. It's going to be tight fit. You might need to get a pair of pliers to attach that on there. Right, this one right there. That one right there is one with the where the clip is going to go. So we're going to take our clip. We're going to slide it back on. So I got one side of the clip on so far, and this is where it gets to be fun, because you have to slide it in here between the two pieces like that. Now when you get to this point, you can see that the second one's got to be slid in. This is where it gets going to get hard. So I'm going to try with a pair of pliers. Bingo! Look at that. Worked pretty good. I'm going to check it again just to make sure it's all the way locked in. Yep. So there you go. What I gotta do is I gotta move this bolt up to this hole so the chain doesn't get into it and affect that bolt. Because right now it's rubbing on that bottom, that bolt right there. So that was just gonna make a mess with that bolt later on. So I'm gonna put it in the topper hole. So I won't have as much adjustment, but I'll have some. It's pretty tight on there now, but I can definitely use some more tension out of that. Or get rid of, add more tension to it. Because right now it's just a little bit. Not going to pop off, but it's, you know, you want the full power. You want it to be as snug on this as possible. And again, make sure it's parallel the entire way. So, because you don't want the chain to shift and fly off, especially with the high speeds. Looking at this more and more, I think I'm going to need to build some kind of cage for it or something. I don't know. Might look kind of cool with it on there or not. I don't know yet. We'll find out. So that's it as of right now. I'm going to make adjustment to the motor and we'll go from there. I'd like to say once again, thank you for watching. And let's break the algorithm by subscribing and liking. Otherwise, thank you for watching and I hope you have a great day and see you on the next one.